Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper back at you with Plugin Boutique, and today we're checking out Manipulator. This is a device that does some really crazy stuff to pitch. It can do anything from really nice harmonies on a vocal to changing a vocal into a lead synth and doing really crazy stuff sound design wise, like making monster sounds and stuff. It's actually really cool. It's really in depth, and it's actually made in a collaboration between Infected Mushroom, which is a group that's been around for years. I was a big fan, I think was like 12 years ago. Used to go out and check out their shows, and a group called Polyverse. And they've actually collaborated on a number of plugins, and I'm actually really pumped to say that we're going to be hosting them on Plugin Boutique. So click the link in the video description if you want to check it out. I'm just going to show you kind of what the plugin is. I'm going to play some of the presets for you, and I've just got this audio example lined up right here. And this is the original vocal. So I just obviously chopped it up and played with it and made a little melody there. And then I put this effects chain on, including Manipulator and Gatekeeper, which is another plugin by Polyverse and Infected Mushroom. So let's listen to it now. So I've kind of changed that voice into a lead synth style. Things get really crazy. So we've got pitch, formant, harmonics, frequency modulation, the ratio of that. We can snap to the certain, you can see how it's kind of snapping to those balls there. So that's what that snap feature does. And then there's the alternator, which gets things really crazy. Octave, pretty straightforward there. You got your drive wet slider, and you have a glide amount, and you got this little animation here. That's pretty cool. And then you have modulation sources down here. So you can come in here and you've got these sort of different modulators, and you actually have 3 different parameters here that are kind of hidden. Stereo. And a detune, which doesn't do exactly what you would think. It's like an effect. So this is very cool, okay? And I'm going to play you some presets in a second, but what I want to show you is this part right here. You see that it says mid detect? I'm going to jump over here to the second example over here, because this is where things get super cool with Manipulator. So I've got 2 copies of this vocal, and this is what the original sounds like.
Stop looking at your past and go on. We'll never be the same again.
So what I did is copy that vocal, and then I said, put some MIDI down here, and this is actually the MIDI for the piano part of the track. And then what I did is sent that MIDI into the copied audio and into Manipulator. So Manipulator is on the second channel, and now I can trigger these vocal samples using the effects in Manipulator to the MIDI down here in the bottom. So that's what this sounds like now.
Stop looking at your past and go on. We will never be the same again. The truth is never easy, you know.
So we're actually getting polyphonic harmonies happening because of this MIDI file, and it's running through Manipulator up here. So when I put those together,
stop looking at your past and go on. We'll never be the same again. The truth is never easy, you know. Sometimes you need to be your hero. Free yourself from what is gone. Free your mind and seize the moment.
So it's very cool once you start getting in and doing things like this. So what I want to do is actually jump back to that first example. I just wanted to point out how to do that. Send a MIDI channel into the track with Manipulator, and Manipulator will use that MIDI to pitch shift anything that's on that channel. So super cool. Let's jump back up here and check out some of the presets. And I found that Manipulator can go really subtle and have some really nice effects and just go balls to the wall crazy. So let's just flip through some of these. If you come into subtle, I'm going to turn down the BPM over here. So that's just using these, just tweaking them randomly. So that's a really nice sound, right? It's not doing a lot in terms of effects being applied, but it sounds really good. It's something like you could use for a lower part of a vocal harmony. Let's go to something like morphs. This is where they're going to start using the modulation sources down here. So you can see we have step sequencers. We've got a meta knob, which we can apply different things to. And the sense system is actually pretty cool. It's these sequence of dots on the outside. So if I want to send the FM to the third sequencer here, I can send it in positive or negative values. So I just got to click there and drag over, and you can see the amount is being added there. We got ADSR, MIDI sequencer follower, which can be like an envelope follower. And that's it. So you got 4 different slots for those. And really you can send any of these main parameters to those and to any varying degree. And you can see down here, you can actually send the amount as well up here or down here at the bottom. Let's check some rhythmic stuff. And some of the effects. So this is going to get really crazy. Too many mushrooms. That's hilarious. So you can hear the different range. You can hear how large that range is when using Manipulator on vocals. Obviously, you can use Manipulator on anything, but I found personally that I'm always leaning towards vocals with this plugin, and perhaps that's a good place to start to get a handle on what it does inside of your project. And by all means, experiment dropping this thing on anything else to see what it does in those instances as well. So that's a very, very quick overview of Manipulator. I've given you a couple examples. I really think the MIDI functionality is key. Get it? Pun intended, to getting things sounding really cool inside of your projects. But anyway, I'm Joshua Casper here for Plugin Boutique. I hope you learned something. Click the link in the video description. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to stay up to date on everything in the world of plugins. And I'll see you in the next video.